bit of a mystery. I'm not really a railway buff, I'm just interested in stuff, that's all. So we've just walked past a house called The Hill, and a footpath down a field, which is pretty much alongside the railway line. And coming towards a place called Low Hen House, there is this bit of railway architecture, just an underpass, but with the track bed, or where the track bed was, going across overhead. So there's another little bridge intact still, if you like. And that disgorges at the far end onto the road that comes up from Woodland Reading Room up to the Broughton Torver Road. Across that bridge where we were sat before, incidentally. Yes, I've been speculating how marvellous it would be, wouldn't it, if this old railbed could be restored at least to the status of bridleway, coming all the way from Foxfield, Broughton, Woodland, Torver, ultimately Coniston, as a bridle path, you know, for bicycles and things. It'd be bloody marvellous, wouldn't it? Like, I've not done it, but there's the Peakland Trail in Derbyshire, isn't there? And the Malvac, I'll try and say it Welsh, boyo, Malvac Trail in Dolgeffley, again, which is an old railway line down to Fairbourne from Dolgeffley. Wouldn't that be marvellous? You know, and of course, if there's quite a bit of infrastructure gone now, like some of the bridges have gone, but you know, you imagine what it must have been like when they opened the Blaenau Festiniog railway. Thought that you'll never do it, it's just too much is gone, and lo and behold they blinking did it, didn't they? And now it's sort of like the holiday industry hub of mid-North Wales. And not only that, so successful has it been as an income generator, employment, and a little, you know, fascinating piece of steam history in the region. Not only have they achieved that over all these years, but they've gone on, the very same company, the Blaenau Festiniog Railway Company, to reopen the link between Porthmadog and Carnarvon. You know, massive capital investment, you know, relaying bridges, track bed, and of course that's another bloody gem now of North Mid Wales, isn't it? You know, so, you know, if anybody, or any council, any authority or regional body thought, I know, let's just give the South Lakes a bit of a financial fillip and kick, then, you know, reopening this as what do we call it, I forget the word now, preserved railway. There'd be loads of people, wouldn't there? You know, drive up to Cumbria or Foxfield and get on the train, go to Coniston for the day. Just like the good old days. And of course, this is the very railway. Forgive me, I am going on a bit now. But a subject that's close to my heart. This is the very railway that I imagine the Walker children would have come on to Coniston, you know, in the early episodes, or early chapters of the books, the Swallows and Amazons books, you know. This is the route they took to come to the lakes. So that's why it has a place in my heart, you know. Yeah. Oh, is this it here? Is this it? This might be the actual track bed now. No, it isn't. No, this is just alongside. The track bed is there. Can you see it? Just that ridge along there. That's the track bed. Like I say, I'm not really a railway buff. I'm more of a Swallows and Amazons kind of guy. But it's all associated stuff. Oh no, maybe this is the track bed. Oh, I'm gibbering now. No, it isn't. It's up there. It's up there through that gate. That would have opened onto the track bed. Ah, all good stuff. she goes down the track bed at Woodland. That's Woodland Fell. Greenmoor Farm, fells behind. Coming round to Blawyff Knot. Blawyff Knot now in the centre. Great Burney, Uncle Bernie in the centre now, and Kirby Moor. Coming round to the Furness Peninsula and the estuary. We're just on a little holloway that goes from Bascall, which is on the Broughton to Torver Road, and this holloway leads ultimately up to Heights House, up near the Scissors Way. And this holloway itself must have been a major droving or transport route, because it's quite a good little, what do you call it? You know, like a little drove road really. Goes down, turns right just at the end there, down between two walls, through a multitude of blinking gates. A bit tiresome, about 4 in a row, and they've all got stiff springs. Down to the road down there. And there's Bascall's farm there. And Woodland Vale, I suppose I might call it, there. And the road up to Giant's Grave. I was speaking quietly in that field with the fiddle gate, you know, the gate post with the holes in, because I didn't want to attract the attention of all those cows and stirks which are in the field that opened onto. But this is that trackway going from Bascall's up to Heights House, and you see it disappearing up through the trees there. And over there, I can tell at this distance, there's a har-hung gate as well, which to my mind always betokens, you know, a good transport route where the gates are easy to open, back in the days before ironmongery was cheaply available. So that's that, but we're not going that way today. But nevertheless, there's the track bed, if you like. Right, we've taken the left hand branch the way we're going from that track going up to Heights, and now here is yet another har-hung gate. Now you can see the previous iterations, you see these holes where the top of the gate, what would you call it, style, would have revolved in the hole, you see, you know, just for timber upright, and it would have had an iron shoe at the bottom to revolve in a pintle. But nowadays they're more often done like this, you know, when they've replaced the gates, they put this staple and pintle through. But again, having a har-hung gate here infers that this too was sort of like, you know, a transportation route, more like from Wallenrig Farm, that's where we're going towards, to join the Heights Road down to Bascall's. Oh, a bird. Bird there. Just alighting in a tree. Looked like a hawk or something. I'm not sure. I know nothing about birds, but it was of that ilk. Well, beyond that second har-hung gate that I just did a bit of footage on, we came across some stirks, which are young, bullocks really, and they looked a bit boisterous, and they made me apprehensive. I think they make Poppet apprehensive too, because, you know, it might sound laughable, but 800 kilos of flesh coming at you, all boisterous and excited and interested, you know, it can bloody damage you, trample, crush and maim. So we're coming on the Heights house lane now. We've backed down, which is a shame because there was a beautiful glacial rounded rock in that other field, but I was just too apprehensive to do any footage of the sturks there. There's that hung gate beyond. You can see it through the branches there. There's the hung hinge, as it were. And in the foreground, this wonderful tangled tree. I think it's hawthorn. But when it was growing, in its younger days, you can imagine the shoots being blown hither and thither by the wind, so it ended up tying itself in a blinking knot, really. And there's this nice little drove road just coming round, going up there. But you can see it's a proper little droving lane, can't you? You know. Proper little walled lane. Sometimes I pose myself the question, why don't farmers just put sheep stock on footpath fields and leave the sturks and the dangerous heavy beasts to those fields which aren't on the blinking footpath anyway? You know, I mean, we're lucky today, we've got a Route B option. Otherwise, we'd probably have to turn around and go back the way we came, you know. So I don't like big beasts. But this is an intriguing little lane anyway. I've not walked up here before. Like I say, lucky there's a B route of your spotted poppet. Is that a fossil? Oh, it's just a fissure with quartz in. Yeah, little quartz vein. Oh, there we are, the estuary again. I'm enjoying this little lane anyway, so no harm done. And there's Heights house. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Yes, isn't it just a nice little tree-lined boulevard sort of thing. Some tangled hawthorn again. Oh! An oak tree. Now someone recently was mentioning an oak tree for want of acorns. Well, it's the wrong time of year, but here's an oak tree. Pigeon feathers. Now we have been seeing a bird of prey flitting about, and yet there's no skeletal remains or blood and gore or anything, so it's a bit strange that, but whatever it was has been well fairly well plucked, one would have said. So there's that drove route, right next to Heights House. Going back a good long time, perhaps 20 years ago or so, in the Evening Mail, a chap called A.L. Evans used to write little local history pieces, and I'm sure I can remember him saying, one of his little articles, that firstly it had the date of, I suspect it said 1790 written on this structure somewhere. We've been looking for it, can't see it though. And secondly, that this was like an inn back in the day. A drover's inn perhaps, or something like that. I don't know. Quite a big structure, and on sort of like a junction of routes and tracks and things. Shame I can't find that date, if indeed it is on here. Perhaps it's low down amongst all the thickety growth of brambles and whatnot. Go back to campsite now. What a beautiful panorama. Lovely. If that person who's interested in oak trees wants to get in touch come the time when acorns start emerging, then get in contact. I'll tell you where it is. Just coming down from Wallenrig, there's this intriguing little lane which once formerly was a tarmac sea road, I imagine, but no, it's not. It's still got road used as public path status, or whatever the latest equivalent is nowadays. That's quite a nice little lane. Would have made a nice little drive in the 40s and 50s. Oh look, there's another gate post, look, with round holes. Look at that, lots of them around. It's not the right word. Are they called fiddle gates? Something like that. I don't think fiddle is the right word, but you know, you fiddle with sticks really to open and close them basically. Yeah, look at this. Just a lovely little lane. Check on the status of this and maybe come back with a motorbike if it's still legal sometime. Little sheep pen over there. That's just a lovely little lane. Going up and round the corner by the trees. Beautiful. I'm coming through, pop it. Thank you. Look at this, that little lane. It is legal, public way. So there we go. Here we are next to a little babbling brook. Motorcycle tyre for a swing. Nice little footpath. And then a blinking tree house. Huh. Ah. Oh, it's a bit gloopy here and slippy. Thank you, Puppet. Cheers.